How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another GG Sports Podcast Monday night live stream. Obviously, this one's a little bit different. We have Vikings football tonight at US Bank Stadium against the San Francisco 49ers. I almost said Kansas City Chiefs, don't know why. Very important game, obviously. I think depending on the outcome of this game, the fan base's opinions and focus may shift one way or the other. I mean, obviously, with the win, keeps the season alive for some fans, and you start looking forward to the easier stretch of schedule coming up. And if you lose, well, then there's going to be a ton of talk about trade deadline, who could stay, who could go, whether this team should, look to lose some games, get a better draft pick. Who really knows? But at the end of the day, it's a Vikings football game. It's an important one for this season, and it's gonna be a challenge. Monday Night Football. Vikings and night games don't seem to mix well together all the time. And it's a really tough test against San Francisco. It sounds like Christian McCaffrey will play. So will Trent Williams. Debo is out from the sounds of it. Yeah. I got the Vikings inactives pulled up over here. Those are just announced. We can get into those in a bit here. But how are we feeling about this one?
Let me start with saying what's up to everybody in the chat. Let's go. I know Gary's already saying we got game night today. Casey's already talking about it. I mean, hey, you can't complain about it's not the greatest season we've had for sure, but you can't complain about Vikings football, Monday Night Football, even if we aren't that great in them. And Kirk Cousins has his history as well. But let me give some shout outs here. We got Gary in the building, Lewis Caro in the building. Let's get this W. Let's do it. Justin's in the building. Join my watch party tonight. Justin, are you in here? Everybody should definitely go. Are you going live for the entire game, Justin, if you're in here? If that's the case, yeah, everybody should definitely go and tap into Justin's show during the game. That would be a cool one to go see. Paul's in the building. Where you all are watching? I'll be watching here in Boston. Actually, we'll be watching it together online here. We got Scoldger Soup. What up, Scoldger? We got Skull for Life Barber.
Going on.
Let's go. CMC plays. We lose. It sounds like CMC is definitely playing.
From what I understand, he is in. Let's see. Daily Norseman actually posted. So let's see. Yep, he is in. Oh, Trent Williams is out.
Yep, Trent Williams is out.
Debo both out.
Debo is out.
For the Vikings. Hakeem Adeniji, Andre Carter, Lewis Cine, Ezra Cleveland, Nick Muse, and Najee Thompson are the players that are not playing tonight.
They're all in here tonight. Oh, wait, say that again?
They are inactive.
Say it again.
Hakeem Adeniji, Andre Carter, Lewis Cine, Ezra Cleveland, Nick Muse, and Najee Thompson.
Najee's not getting the...
Najee Thompson, he was, obviously preseason he flashed. He overruns tackles all the time. It's
Yeah. 1 second. Before moving on, though, again, another show, another Justin Jefferson rookie card. Get those hashtag skulls in the comments here. I mean, hey, if we win this game, like Casey said earlier, this is going to be the difference between whether, well, I wouldn't say the difference, because if we lose this game, which a lot of fans probably think we are going to, we're probably going to be sitting in the same spot. The whole idea, I mean, we wanted to be at least 3-4 after these first 7 games, but then it wouldn't be surprising at this point if we're 2-5. We kind of expected it. So I feel like we're going to sit in a similar situation prior this game that we feel right now. But if we win this game, I do think you're going to see some of the fan base kind of be like, all right, like we're 3-4. We beat a San Francisco team. We get JJ back in a couple weeks here. I think we'll feel a little bit better about that. So I do think that, I don't know. We'll see what happens when it comes down to all that stuff. But yeah, hey, what up, Dan?
What's going on, Dan?
Welcome in. But yeah, get those hashtag skulls in the comments. So yeah, back to Najee Thompson though, but you had a good point. There's a lot to like about him because he does get down every single time. The thing is you're right. He just kind of, runs a little aimlessly where he's running past the returner and he's not really getting home on them. He's getting there every single time. He's just not getting home, which in the preseason, it seemed like he was.
But at that point, he's kind of playing against, potential practice squad punt returners.
Right.
I mean, some teams will put their main guys out there, but for the most part, you want to try to keep them healthy, so you won't do that. I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things, like special teams coordinators, like they're watching, like they're probably like, oh yeah, he's going to overrun you. So just kind of, let him get past you, and then there you go. Their fastest guy's already gone. And I mean,
Right.
yeah, but
Yeah. It'll
but
be interesting.
otherwise,
I
yeah,
do think.
let's see more
I-
Akers tonight. Absolutely.
yeah. I was just gonna say that. I'd like to see some more Akers tonight. I'm hoping so. I can't imagine, and who knows? I mean, knowing our upper management and stuff, they do seem to lack on playing the players that we think deserve more time. And they haven't really done it this season. I mean, Jordan Addison, obviously with JJ gone, but we've been asking for it since literally week 1, and they continue to kind of make KJ Osborne that guy. Obviously, we're asking for Reisner. Maybe that made some sense. Reisner wasn't in training camp or anything like that, so maybe that makes a little bit more sense. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see if we see some Akers. I hope they do. I mean, those are the kind of changes the Vikings just need to do. I mean, Madison has not been doing it. What do you have, like 2 yards a carry last game?
Yeah.
We need to see more Akers. And at the end of the show, we're going to do a DraftKings lineup for this game as well. And I mean, we might have to put Akers in there because I do feel like we're going to see a little bit more of him tonight. But
So do you think with McCaffrey now? Because it sounds like his injury is like, I mean, obviously he's playing, so it's not serious, but it sounds like
plays
might be a little somewhat serious. Do you think they use him full, or do you think he's more of almost like a decoy type player to where they'll have him out there, but then they'll have like Elijah Mitchell out there with him? And
I would say generally, I would tell you that I think they would, if they're going to play him, they're going to play him. And I think that's going to be the case for CMC. But man, this year's been weird. Like even like Bijan Robinson this week, I mean, he ended up having a headache or whatever, but he had like 1 snap this entire game and he was active. And not even just him, but we had players. I'm trying to think who it was exactly. Oh, yeah. Ezra Cleveland. No. Was it? Who was it? Darrisaw earlier this year dressed for the game after being questionable throughout the week, remember? And then he didn't even play at all.
Right.
So there is like some situations this season where you see players become activated in these games, but don't actually play. Though I think if CMC does, he did practice in limited fashion during this week. So I do think we will see some of him. I kind of need to see him, a little bit of him. And he's the last guy I got going in my fantasy league, and he needs 2 points. I need 2 points out of Christian McCaffrey. That's it. I mean, we can still win this game, whatever. Get him 1 throw for 10 yards. We can take CMC out for the rest of the game. Whatever, we're good. But yeah, man, I mean, CMC is going to be, let's actually dig into some matchup specifics here because CMC is
definitely what I wanted to get into for sure.
CMC is definitely number uno as far as players we have to stop, especially with no Debo and Trent Williams. That's a big one. And I mean, obviously there's some matchups right there that we can talk about, but I think CMC is the number one thing on defense we got to stop. And I mean, I don't know what you do. You put like Jordan Hicks, you keep him keeping an eye on CMC at all times, especially on these little dump passes and stuff like that. Otherwise, and I mean, we already don't have a very good run defense. It does help that we don't have to worry about Debo, I guess.
Yeah. And McCaffrey isn't like your traditional, going to run the ball up the gut.
No, but he can. He can do everything.
Yes,
he can literally do everything. Right. That's what sucks.
Mm-hmm. So that's a matchup to watch. And you mentioned it with Trent Williams not being in there. That's something I'm kind of interested in. I'm more interested on the flip side. I know I was actually talking with some coworkers at work today. One of them said he thinks Nick Bosa could have like 5 sacks tonight. I'm like, I disagreed because when you get to Nick Bosa, you're going strength on strength. The strength of our offensive line is our tackles. So, I mean, I think Christian Darrisaw and Brian O'Neill are going to have their hands full for sure. But I think that's going to be a lot of fun to watch how those two, because I mean, obviously we want to know, and we feel like Christian Darrisaw is going to be the left tackle of the future here, right? We feel like he's a top 5 left tackle in the league, probably going to end up being higher than that soon.
Right.
This is what you want to see. You want to see him against, and that's going to be fun about the rest of the season. You'll get to see him against Nick Bosa, who's considered one of the top pass rushers in the league. I believe he's having a little down sack here at this point, but still, the guy's phenomenal. Later on in the year, you get to see him against Max Crosby, who's playing well this year. So I'm excited to watch that. I'm excited to watch Darrisaw against a guy like Nick Bosa, because now we get to see. And I guess I remember last year they were saying Darrisaw had issues with him in camp when they did the joint practices. It's going to be fun to watch him in live game reps. How's he going to perform against one of the top pass rushers in the league? Same thing with Brian O'Neill, because I mean, they say he flips from side to side. That's the matchup I'm watching the most here. Is how our tackles perform against the likes of Nick Bosa.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, we have good tackles, and I'm hoping, they should. I mean, if anyone's going to hold up against him, I do think it's them. And luckily, this is a game. Their whole defensive line is pretty good, so it's not like it's only Nick Bosa. So it's like we do still have to worry about the interior line, even though Gary Bradbury coming back had an excellent game. Ed Ingram has stepped up, and then I'm assuming, or it sounds like it said Ezra Cleveland's out. Did it say that?
Oh, Dalton Reisner will start.
Not Dalton Reisner is the starter. Yeah, I like that's going to be the biggest thing on offense is stopping that pass rush, especially. I mean, Kirk Cousins, he's been pretty clean, and I don't think it's been looking good when he does get rushed, especially when you have that kind of athletic freak that is Nick Bosa. And I think those are the worst nightmares for Kirk Cousins because he can't move a lot, and he's just going to kind of take the hit. So that's going to be the biggest thing is that matchup, I think, on offense. And would you say if we were going to say top matchups in this game, are you thinking would you think that's your number one, or would you say stopping Christian McCaffrey is your number one?
They're very, very, very close to me, I think, because I mean, obviously McCaffrey is important because let's be real. He's what makes that offense go, right? If McCaffrey's having a good game, the rest of that offense is going to pick it up as well. So obviously that's important, but man, limiting what Nick Bosa getting home to Cousins, and even just along the offensive line in general, just limiting that pass rush, and that probably goes hand in hand with play calling. Like O'Connell needs to assume that, maybe your guys get beat a couple times because you're going against a stacked defense. So have some plays drawn up, have some planned, shorter developing, like 5-yard hits, or, try a couple screens just to slow that defensive line down a little bit and then work and take your deep shots. This would be a big game. This is one of those games where O'Connell needs to find some sort of rhythm in the offense just to keep that defense guessing, right? Because I mean, if we get into situations where they can just pin their ears back, I mean, look, I love Christian Darrisaw, but Nick Bosa is something else, right? So I do think that's the most important matchup because I think our offense can score with the best of them, but in order to, I mean, maybe not without JJ now, but our offense still has talent. And in order to see that talent, you're going to have to limit what Nick Bosa can do to you. So, and just the rest of that defense as well. So
another matchup, obviously, I'm worried about. I mean, we're talking about their offense, and I wouldn't say Purdy is exactly the guy that I'm the most worried about. Like in his career, he is good, and this will be really interesting because I have watched him in other games, but it's always different when you see a player against your team, and you really get to see how good he really is. So I think this will be an opportunity for us to kind of be like, all right, is he really this guy? Is he someone that can be more than at least in this part of his career, be more than just kind of like a game manager who's in a really good situation? We'll see. And I do think we have to get the pressure on him, which does come down to, again, I mean, they don't have one of the arguably and probably considered the best tackle in the entire NFL tonight. So, I mean, he is going to be against guys like Daniil. I mean, Daniil's usually on the other side, but hopefully we get a little creative. And then obviously we don't have Davenport now. So it's kind of, and we have seen a little bit more out of one of them's actually been pretty solid this year in the pass rush, especially in specific games. So I think that's another matchup that I think we need to take advantage of if we want to win.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the defense plays. Flores, I mean, if you're Flores, whatever the Browns tried to do last week, you're going to have to try to do this week. I mean, obviously they have a great pass rusher there in Myles Garrett as well, but Daniil's playing like one of the best in the league right now as well. So whatever they did last week, I mean, I'm sure they looked at that, and how to limit that offense. Yeah, man. It's because how did McCaffrey end up doing last week? Early on, or was it? I guess I don't necessarily.
I'm pretty sure he did. He did get not super early. I don't think. Let me take a peek here. And then, I mean, talking about other matchups though, because other big ones is they don't have Debo. People have been kind of waiting for, I mean, he kind of had a breakout last year, but people have been waiting for him to have like a legit wide receiver one type breakout, which he could be having this year. So that's another one. I mean, stopping him and George Kittle, who, without Debo is probably going to see more action. He's someone that you have to worry about more after the catch than I think you do like vertically. But that's something we do have to worry about. So, I mean, I think that's another matchup that we definitely want to win. Murphy versus Ayuk, and then I don't know. I mean, whoever we put on Kittle, whether that's going to be Jordan Hicks, someone's going to have to spy Christian McCaffrey in this game for sure. And then, I mean, really bring the pressure on Purdy, because obviously if I'd feel better about winning this game if they didn't have CMC this week, but not having Trent Williams and not having Debo, it definitely makes our job easier. And it's starting to kind of feel like we just have to hold their defense to not get the pressure on Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. McCaffrey last week, 11 carries, 43 yards, and then 3 catches, 9 yards, and a touchdown. So pretty, I mean, if we could somehow keep McCaffrey to those numbers, I'd be pretty happy with that. But obviously it's gonna be tough. The guy's really good. So
what up, Kofi in the building? We got Catch 84 in the building. Let's go. The Vikings taking one tonight. Catch.
So
is the Vikings taking one? Kofi, I know you already know the Vikings are taking one tonight.
Outside of Debo, we got to watch for Brandon Ayuk, Juwan Jennings,
yeah.
Who, I mean, that's kind of.
Is Casey going to the game? I don't believe so.
No,
he'd probably already be there.
I wouldn't be there already.
And plus, we have this. Actually, I might as well bring this up now. Hey, everybody in here, we'd appreciate it a lot if you guys, after the game, so we have this. So it's a busy night for us. We have this show right before the game, obviously, and then the game we'll be watching, and then after that, directly after, we'll be on Bleacher Report. It's an app. It's a really popular sports app. If you don't have it already, you should go download it. But we will be on the Vikings page immediately after the game. We'd be appreciative if we saw any of you guys in there, because that's really cool. There's a lot of people that jump in there. The comments get a little crazy at times, but yeah, definitely. So hit that link, and if you guys go and download Bleacher Report, appreciate that big time. What up, PPP in the building? What
everybody, to be fair, I didn't go to the Chiefs game either. We lost. Not just me. It's not just me. Maybe our team.
That's why. Oh yeah, that's why Catch is asking. How do you feeling tonight, Rap? How do you feel? You think we have any chance? Any of you have? Besides, I know Kofi knows we have a lots of chance. Vikings are winning tonight. Enough negativity in Flores, I trust.
He's gonna have to come up with a really good game plan.
And I'm not really worried. It's going to be the offense. I think really at this point in this season, it's not even about the defense so much as it is the offense and playing aggressive, and especially against this pass rush that we're going to be dealing with in this game here. And if we have any chance to win, it is going to have to be stopping them, but not just that. Like, you are going to have to drop points on this team, or like try to. And not have all these 3-and-outs and these weak ass play calling, and
this is another game where
all that stuff,
kind of like it was against the Chiefs, where you need near perfection. You can't give any extra chances to a team like this that has, I mean, obviously fewer weapons now.
What up?
But still, the weapons that they have, you can't give them any extra opportunities, and that's kind of gonna be it.
Yeah,
and that's because that's the thing. It's like in a lot of like you said, the defense hasn't really been the issue, and it really hasn't. Like, I mean, outside, I mean, if you look back at a lot of the losses, and the defense is going to get pinned for some things, but they got put in a lot of crappy situations those first few weeks of the season, right? With all the turnovers and short fields and whatnot. I mean, they give up 20 yards to the Chargers, which is fair, but I mean, for the last few weeks, the defense hasn't been the problem. It's been the inefficiency of the offense and unable to control the ball. I mean, obviously, we did a great job of that in the first half of the Chiefs game, and then the second half happened, and we kind of went away from it. But I don't know, man. It's
going to come down to that. We got Jiffer in the building. What up, Jiffer? I don't know if I've seen you in here before. Kirk better get me more than 8 points this week. I mean, he should, as long as that O-line can hold up. Because I'm still expecting. Hey, what up, Mello? We got Mello in the building. Mello. That's another thing too in this. And yeah, with Mello here, hashtag skull, everybody in here, another show, another Justin Jefferson rookie card giveaway. Get those hashtag skulls in the comments. Like the video if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate it big time. Again, everybody in here, if you got the Bleacher Report app, come check us out post game on Bleacher Report. We'll be going live immediately after the game. It'd be awesome to see some familiar people in there. We kind of go in there. There's a lot of people in there, but we don't know a lot of them yet. So we're building on it. But we appreciate it big time. Hey, let's go, Mello. But yeah, I don't know, man. It really comes down and back up here. I'm drunk off the purple Kool-Aid all week. Let's go. If we win, sick. If we win, y'all gonna be sick of me next week. But I want to come back to this one. But my football knowledge tells me nope, we are outmatched. Yeah, I do think it definitely helps that we don't have to worry about Debo and CMC from a defense, or not CMC, but Debo and Trent Williams from because I mean, if you put their offense against our offense without Debo and without Trent Williams, we don't got Justin Jefferson though. I mean, CMC is that big of a deal. If they didn't have CMC, I'm taking our offense all day.
I would. Sure. I mean, well, because that's the thing, and I mean, because I think we had the conversation about Purdy. He's one of those guys where he needs, like, if he needs to get into a shootout, he's not going to be able to hold up. I don't think he just doesn't. He's just not that type of quarterback. He needs the offense where he can, distribute the ball to his playmakers in Debo and McCaffrey, and they kind of do the rest of the work. He takes, I mean, obviously he makes a couple big throws a game, which is what you have to do if you're a game managing type quarterback. And he does it really, really well. But, as we saw last week, I mean, 12, 27, 125, one touchdown, one pick, 17 points scored. When McCaffrey isn't McCaffrey and Debo's not Debo, he's relatively ineffective. And that's the type of quarterback you can get after. That's the type of quarterback you need to rattle him a little bit and make sure he can't get those short passes off. So,
I mean, the key to victory, I honestly, I mean, we talk about Nick Bosa and all of them, but it's probably pressuring Brock Purdy.
I would say it's make Brock Purdy win. Like, don't let him just get the ball to do the dump off. Make him beat you. And
the Vikings got to go out and beat them. They can't just let that's just what everybody does against us. I mean, they just have to not just let us, try to make us win, but they can't
wait for us to screw up is what they have to
do. Well, that's this year for sure. Wait for us to screw up, but they don't, I don't know. They don't have to do anything. We just, unless we're up in points, our offense just doesn't move. Like, I don't beat ourselves, I guess. I don't know. If we win this game, we need our offense to be firing on all cylinders. Say this every single week, but that's the problem with me is even if we win this game, I'll be excited, and maybe it is going to be a turnaround, especially if we come in and we're firing, Kirk Cousins firing. We see Jordan Addison. I'm hoping he's still my player of the game. I'm banking on Jordan Addison being the number one wide receiver for us. I'm still super excited to see him. What's that, Casey?
He needs 13 fantasy points from me.
13 fantasy points from him. Yeah, we need 13 fantasy points from Jordan Addison. So I'm expecting big things out of him. But I need to see that offense fly. Like, it's like, even if we win this game and we barely win, it'll be exciting. Don't get me wrong. And it could be a turning point for this season. But until we see it, if we go out and we see our offense just pushing the ball down the field over and over again and not play so conservative in moments of these games, that's when I'll get excited and actually think I can hop on board with a turnaround this season. This is a big test. We got to win this though.
I don't even need to see like just throwing the ball over the field. I just want to see us run a consistent offense to where you're maintaining the ball. I mean, obviously I don't want to just see you run, like you just keep grinding up first. Maybe that's what you have to do to win a game like this. I don't really know, but I want to see just consistency from this offense, something we just haven't seen enough of up to this point. To me, if we can win this game and the offense is like, damn, that was a well-called offensive game. We produced some yardage. Like, I mean, I'm looking, if we can get up to 300 yards, who knows? I mean, you win games in different ways. Maybe we don't end up doing that against a team like this with their defense, but I just want to see something from this offense that I leave thinking like that was a fun offense to watch. And that's
what we've been waiting for.
And even if it is a bunch of short passes to open up like 3 or 4 deep shots down the field, just something to some sort of rhythm, some sort of ball control.
Yeah.
Grind out some first downs. Like you got to do more of that. Like that's how you win football games.
Dude, I want to see the first play of the game. I just want to see, well, it'd be nice if it's Jordan Addison. Yeah, that's what I want to see. I want to see Jordan Addison slant 10 yards down the field. First play of the game. I don't want to see a run on the first play of the game. I don't even want to see a bomb. I definitely don't want to see a screen on the first play of the game. It doesn't have to be like way down a deep shot first, even though I wouldn't mind that just because I like the aggressiveness. But I just want to slant that's 10 yards down the field, past the first down line to Jordan Addison. And like you said, like those are just the medium throwing passes, especially on early downs, is something we just do not see enough of from our offense. And I don't know. That's what I like to see. I feel like we only kind of see those kind of plays, those medium plays, is just again when we're down in these games. So, man, if we lose, the Bears will be the only team with our division to this. That's another thing we were talking about. This is a game where on paper, it looks like they'll beat us. Whatever. I do think we have some chance. I mean, we have some talented players on this team still, but this has been a weird week. This has been a weird week where a lot of 1-5 teams won their games. Like the Broncos, obviously it's just the Packers, but the Giants beat Washington. We got the Lions got toasted completely.
Sure, it was against. I mean, sure, it was against Baltimore. Like
who Lamar Jackson was insane in that game.
But here's and then obviously the Bills. See, here's the thing though. It's like the Bills are one of those teams. One of those teams that everybody like looks at like, oh, this team's so good. But Josh Allen looked pedestrian yesterday. Like I was watching a little bit. Me and my buddy went out for some food and I was watching a bit of it. He missed Diggs twice in a row. One of them was a deep shot. One of them was just a simple pass and he just missed them. So like, no matter, like, that's the thing. It's like, if a team is perceived as clicking on all cylinders, they can have a bad day, right? Yeah. I mean, losing to the 1-5 Patriots was kind of embarrassing for that team. The Patriots haven't been able to do much. And yesterday they looked like the much better team out there. Like you can take an offense like this and slow them down. You just have to have a really good game plan.
Yeah, and there's in the same thing like the Browns last week. But the Browns, no, they squeaked one out against the Colts after coming off of a victory against the 49ers. So, I mean, the Browns were able to beat them, and they had Debo. Obviously, CMC did get injured in that game, but they still had Debo, and they still had Trent. Actually, I don't know what Trent Williams' status was in that game, but they can be beatable. And but again, it just comes back down to the only way I think we have a chance is if we just see the best version of our offense, and it really is for the whole game, and it's just something we haven't seen. We literally just haven't seen since week 1 and the last Chicago Bears game of last season that I keep forgetting, but week 1 of last year, like we haven't seen it. We had to come back a lot in those games, and it's like until we see that, if we do see that, I'll feel a lot better about this offense moving forward, especially when JJ comes back.
Right, and that's the thing. Like you got to get through. Like if you can find a way to win these next two, San Fran and the Packers, then you're sitting at what 4-4, and you get JJ back for still a relatively easy run on your schedule. Like,
yeah, things can change. It's not over yet. It's not even over. Even if we lose this, I would say it's not over yet because we're expected to lose this. We'll be 2-5.
But here's the thing. Like, if we're going to lose this game, at least lose it to where like, wow, like they played well. It's just one of those where, we just lost to the better team. But like, if you can at least leave this game with the loss and feel like, okay, I saw something with this team. I saw the growth we need to see so that you win against the Packers next week. And then you get JJ back, I believe the week after that, or is it 2 weeks after that still?
They said 4 to 6. They said 4 to 6.
Well, right. But I know Kevin O'Connell said in his press conference earlier this week or last week that he was ahead of what they kind of expect, where they expect him to be at this point. So I have a feeling he'd be coming back after 4 weeks. So yeah, get yourself back in contention. Like
it starts with this upset, man.
Right.
It starts with this upset.
But like you said, even if you lose this and you play well and you go beat the Packers, then you're 3-5, which isn't great. But you have a soft part of your schedule. You get your best player back. If you can start finding some rhythm on your offense and then plug him back in and keep everything going around it, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, and hopefully it'll be interesting. I do feel a little bit better about this game without Debo and without Trent Williams. I was kind of hoping it was I have CMC on like every fantasy league, but I do, which no matter what, like even though if it's fantasy or whatever, you always vote for the Vikings. The problem is this has just been a very mid-season at its best, where we're on this line of, are we sellers or we're definitely not buyers, but are we going to sell or not? Yeah. And I mean, we find out if we lose this game and then we lose the Packers, I think for sure we're sellers. Even if we win this game, I think that's when we turn things around. And if we do win this game and we do beat the Packers and then JJ can come back to this team energized, I do think you'll see things a little bit more, but I do think you have to make some plays for Jordan Addison in this game going forward too, because I don't want JJ to come back and all of a sudden he has to take a backseat to KJ and JJ. I'm hoping that JA steps up in these next 2 games and we get to kind of see him become the obvious wide receiver too when JJ gets back.
And maybe a Toss Akers in there and he looks a little bit better. Then you have yourself a good running game with 2 high quality pass catchers and maybe TJ Hawkinson wears a different pair of gloves so he stops dropping the ball so much, and then boom, we're good to go on offense. And that defense, and that's one of the biggest thing that excites me is I think we're going to keep seeing this defense take steps forward, which we have in the last few weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I did the poll saying what's the biggest matchups we need to win: defense versus CMC, tackles versus Bosa, or Hunter versus their tackles. We have 38% saying Hunter versus their tackles. So our chat agrees that our way to victory in this is probably putting on the pressure on Brock Purdy.
I would still lean towards our tackles versus Bosa.
There's Bosa,
because in order for our offense to do what we want it to do, you got to be able to keep Kirk.
The thing is you're right, yeah, because I think the biggest thing is Kirk Cousins is moving around and stuff. But man, you can just obviously if he gets destroyed, but you can just come up with some more creative play calling and stuff,
right?
You know?
Yeah,
and we just haven't seen
roll him out, roll him away from wherever Bosa is. You know, like have the play design for him to boot out, and whatever side Bosa's on, you can audible it and flip. Like you gotta start doing stuff like that. Be creative. Get away from their playmakers, especially. I mean, and who knows? I mean, and maybe they're not going to be worried about it because obviously, like, you have to trust your guys. And like I said, it's strength on strength when it comes to our tackles versus Bosa. So, I mean,
that's going to be the big one, man.
It's tough.
And then they got, what's their linebacker's name? Their stud linebacker, Warner.
Yeah.
Warner. Yeah, we got to worry about him. Otherwise, I don't know if how's their secondary been this year? I should actually go look into that real quick.
I remember reading somewhere their secondary is pretty weak.
Pretty weak. The Vikings are the only team in NFL history with 14 passing touchdowns, no rushing touchdowns this far this season. That's another reason why we need to see some more Cam Akers. We need to see some more Cam Akers in this game. 100%. It's crazy that we didn't see much last week, but let's see Tracy. Tracy, welcome in, dude. Welcome in. I know you're a 49ers fan, but hey, we appreciate you in here anyways. Bosa just opens up opportunity for other guys in the Niners Lions. I think you need to worry more than just him. Yeah, 100%. Well, yeah, but it kind of starts with him.
He's going to be the one that's going to make the biggest,
especially on that defensive line. We got to worry a lot, especially that defensive line on your team. Tracy.
But it's one of those things, like right, like you look at it, like if JJ was playing, your goal would be JJ can't beat us. If anyone else beats us, it is what it is. But JJ's not going to do that, and that's kind of what we're saying with Bosa. It's like he's that one guy that's like. You can't let him beat you because if you do, he'll beat you. And
kind of the same thing with stopping CMC on the other side of the ball. Hey Tracy, question: if you're looking into this game, what are you worried about from the Viking standpoint? Like,
don't say nothing. Don't hurt us. Give us something.
Yeah. Is there anything that you're worried about? I mean, the reality is, you still do have Jordan Addison, you still have Hawkinson, but man, it is. I know some people. Who was it? Some people had us looking into trading for, I think, Saquon or something like that, which I'm like, we can't be doing that right now in this season. But
obviously, Tracy, we've been talking all week about how just the rest of that defense is like that defense is gonna give us fits. We kind of know, especially though. JJ.
They're probably the best defense in the NFL right now, overall.
And they're always good. That's the thing. It's like they're just so well coached.
Even without what's his face,
D'Amico Ryan.
Yeah, D'Amico.
Yeah,
because looking at PFF, I'm just looking at a couple things. Their pass blocking, actually, that's interesting. Their pass blocking is only a 48.1 for their grade, especially if they don't have Trent Williams. So, man, maybe it is getting a bigger key to victory for us is getting as much pressure on Brock Purdy as we can. Mm-hmm. Even though he can just dump the ball off to CMC. But again, like you said, who knows what CMC we're going to get for sure. We're going to see, is it going to be straight on feature back CMC, probably the most used running back in the NFL? Or are we going to see more Eli Mitchell? Are we going to see more of Mason Jordan? All those guys.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. But the less CMC, the better for us for sure. Hey, what up, Justin? What up? Jalen Moore at tackle replacing Trent, but Kyle usually schemes around it effectively. He's a pretty dang good coach. Not too worried about McGivitz, but I'm more worried about Moore. Got to trade Hunter. He isn't. Hey, what up, Jussie? He isn't resigning next year. We'll see what happens after this game. If we somehow beat this 49ers team, you're probably not seeing us trading, though. That's another thing with Hunters. I think we're asking for a first round pick, which I think is fair personally. But it sounds like people have reached out to us, have not been giving us as
the biggest thing is you have with him is you have to make it seem like you're totally content with keeping him. That's the only way you're going to get high value. If you make it obvious that you want to trade him, you're not going to get any good offers. And if you do, and if the goal is like he's not going to be on this team past the trade deadline, that's what the mindset is in the building. Then then you're not getting any. You'll get a mid-round pick at best.
And you shouldn't, because I mean you're talking about a guy who's tied for number one in sacks, and I believe he's number one for tackles for loss this season. Mm-hmm. And those guys don't. I mean, I know, Casey, you kind of mentioned like he's like the second tier of these elite pass rushers. Top
of the second tier for sure. Yeah.
Top of the second tier, but that's value right there. I mean, people are willing to pick guys like that number one overall. Right. So to think that we can't get a first round pick for, I mean, I'm not honestly fucking. If anybody's trying to give us a mid round pick, fuck them. I'm not giving them Danielle Hunter. I'd rather sit on him and get nothing than trade him for a mid round pick.
Because if he walks. I don't know how his contract is structured, but I believe if he walks, we still get a compensatory pick. Maybe. I guess I don't know if there's void years on his deal. I forget. But that's the thing. It's like it's all about perceived value of somebody. Like I said, if they know we're trying to get rid of them, no one's going to offer us anything because they're like, we'll wait and then we'll come in with the best offer that other teams don't offer. But if they go into it and they're like, well, worst case scenario, we keep them. Like we're not looking to trade. We're listening. Yeah. Then that's the way you're going to get something better than a fourth round pick for him probably. Otherwise it's going to be like, hey, we'll take him off your hands. We'll take his money. We'll take everything. Just give us this.
Yeah. I think unless if there's two teams who really need a pass rusher, then you're getting a trade. Then you're getting a battle. Then whoever pays the highest gets them. But third round, that's an interesting take, Tracy, since you're from outside of the Vikings fandom. But I like third round comp. No way. Like that's a thing. Like I think that's ridiculous.
No, that's if he walks. That's
compensatory pick. I thought you meant like that's what he's worth. I was gonna say he's got to be worth a third round pick. Even though I mean, there's people who for sure there's 100% people saying like you're gonna get a third round pick for him or something like that.
I would think so. If you're that desperate to trade him, that's kind of what happens.
Fuck that. I'm not trading him for nothing. Sorry, not happening.
Right,
other teams.
I would say it has to be better than the third round compensatory pick we get in 2025 if he walks.
Yeah, and that's another thing too is we don't have to. I mean, there's it seems like slim chance of us paying him money. I'd offer a second and fourth personally for Hunter, and that's not bad at all.
I mean, unless of course we're gonna be out here like the Wolves and just throwing money at everybody that they possibly can.
Hey, chill, You're talking about Jaden McDaniels signing?
Yeah. They're tossing money at players. They're just
he's going to be worth that money times 10.
Okay, you're misunderstanding. I didn't mean it that way. I'm just saying.
Don't come at my boy like that.
No, I was a fan of Jaden McDaniels. I'm just saying unless you want to go like them and just start paying literally everybody.
Yeah. And we're not going to be able to afford Hunter probably. And the way this season goes, like there's no question if we lose this game and with the trade deadline just a week away, you definitely. I mean, he's the most obvious person that you trade on this team. And if we lose this game, lose the Packers, I mean, we have to trade them, but get fair value for them. I mean, I'm not the person who wants our team just to give people deals just because we want to start losing. Like, I get it. I get it at that point.
But that's the thing. It's from the business perspective of it all.
But at the same time, those people are trying to, those are teams that are thinking that they have a chance to win a Super Bowl. Like those are teams that think that Danielle Hunter could be that last piece to their puzzle. So I do think on the opposite side, like you might look desperate as a team, but I do think that it goes both ways. I mean, there's other teams Danielle Hunter. He could be the difference between a team being a champion or not if the team's good enough all the way around. So that's another thing too. Like, yeah, you might look desperate as a seller, but there is going to be people who are desperate as buyers as well. So I think you kind of get a little bit in between that, I think. Hey, what up, Joey Hawking? Would you trade Hunter for Booth or Ingram? That's what we get with second rounders. No. I'd trade him for Lewis Seen, though. What we get for first rounders. Oh, yeah. Hey, listen to Purple and Gold for days. Hit that like button. By the way, Justin, I think you left for a second, but you are going live during the game, correct? Everybody in here, go follow Purple and Gold for days if you're not already. I believe he's going live stream for the game tonight. So Definitely go do that. Definitely go do that. Jesse Fisher second could be a first depending how teams finish. Yeah. I can deal with that, Jesse. If someone gave us that thing, like, yeah, depending on how they finish, we get a first. But if they, if they don't reach that threshold, we get a second rounder. I can handle that. That sounds like all right to me, especially if we lose tonight and we lose against the Packers. Because there's zero questions. If we lose tonight, I just feel like we're in the same situation that we were in before tonight. If we win tonight, we can feel like, all right, there might be some real opportunity for us to turn things around and actually maybe make the playoffs and be something in playoffs. I still have to see a lot more from our offense, and we need JJ back, obviously. But I don't know, man. It'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see how this will go. Because if we lose to the Packers, I'm thinking there's no question you sell.
Yeah,
you sell Danielle Hunter. We can't sell Kirk Cousins. I think at this point,
he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's impossible. That's not happening. You don't sell just anybody in here. You're not getting rid of Justin Jefferson. No. You're not getting rid of Christian Darrisaw.
The only way we get rid of Justin Jefferson is if he decides to leave himself.
Yeah. It makes no sense if our goal is to go into this draft and get one of these top quarterbacks. It just makes no sense to get rid of the left tackle and the best wide receiver in the NFL.
Harrison Smith, I could definitely.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know how much we'd get. We probably wouldn't really get much for him.
No, he would be someone you're just basically trying to get some sort of draft capital.
Maybe Brian O'Neill, even though I think you might as well, because like the
line under contract
and the whole Lions thing where it's like, the Lions spent years just working on their offensive line, and people say that all the time, like, oh, I spent all my picks, even though it's the most boring thing in the world, spent all my picks on offensive line. And then, it doesn't matter what quarterback you have in there. I mean, they're going to have all the time in the world.
I argue that's why Dak Prescott was Dak Prescott for his first few seasons, because he's playing behind the best offensive line. Look at him now. His offensive line, it's solid but not great. And Dak is mid. Dak is Kirk Cousins. Like, Dak is what people think Kirk Cousins is, 100%.
He's like Kirk Cousins, but Kirk Cousins is better in the pocket, but Dak has like the actual mobility thing.
Yeah, I still think Dak is incredibly overrated, and all he's doing is proving my point this season.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'm pretty. They get probably a similar rap.
Yeah.
Joey Hawkin would never move Harry. He already took a pay cut to stay here. Have to do it right by him. I think that's fair too, because the reality is we're not going to get much from him. Anyways,
but that's the thing. And doing right by him would. Like, they're not going to trade him to some. Well, yeah, no Slappy's going to trade for him. If it would be doing right by him, because you would trade him to a team that has a chance to win a Super Bowl this season. So would be, and he's got to move for he'd move for half the season, and then he's probably going to retire after this year anyway.
Right.
So I would guess potentially. I would guess he would be okay with it, but it would be one of those things where like, well, you got to trade me to a team that's a serious contender. Like, that's the only way you can move me.
And I feel good about that. Like, if we moved him to like the Chiefs or even San Francisco or something,
that has a shot to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think he'd be cool.
Because at this point, you're not. I mean, a team that's not in contention isn't going to trade for him, because there's not really a future with him right now.
I could see this. That's a really good point, Jesse.
For sure. Yeah, if they move Hicks, Hicks is definitely one of those guys you could move, especially with how well he's playing right now.
Yeah, you're going to get his. I mean, you're probably still not going to get the value he's probably worth what he's produced this season.
Right.
But I mean, for us, a guy that we might have not even assigned last year, a guy that most people thought he wouldn't even be any value at all. If we got a fifth for him, I think that would probably be a good move.
Yeah.
It all comes down tonight. Well, not just tonight, but if we win tonight, like, things change dramatically. I think if we lose, I think we're in the similar spot. And then it really comes down to, it comes down to if we beat the Packers or not, man. I don't know. But it's going to be interesting. The next couple of weeks are going to be interesting. I'm very conflicted this year. Very conflicted. I don't know how I feel. Like, tonight, I want the Vikings to win. I'm always going to want the Vikings to win. But I am in that feeling, too, where it's just like, we're just going to come back and be an 8-9 team or whatever, and we're just not going to go grab a quarterback. I want the quarterback of the future so bad now. Like, so bad, especially that we're not doing good. Even watching all these 1-5 teams, like the fact that I've seen so many 1-5 1 in 5 teams lose or win this week. And then I'm sitting there like, yes, the Vikings like are in the pack for a top pick. Just makes me think like I'm obviously kind of rooting for them to also not be that good, which they deserve because haven't been. But maybe if we beat the 49ers team tonight, hopefully it brings enough energy into everything. But Kofi, we are winning.
We'll see. But anyway, we got a little under half hour till game time here, so I suppose maybe get that DraftKings lineup rolling.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going to do a lineup real quick.
Watch some football.
And again, everybody in here, we are going, let me come back here. Again, everybody, we're going to be giving this away pretty quick here. Get those hashtag goals in the comments. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But get those hashtag goals in the comment. We'll be running this shortly.
I don't agree. I'd say, well, yeah, Pace.
Oh yeah, Pace and Jordan Addison.
You're not trading
anywhere.
Cheap. You wouldn't, because here's the thing with this team. Like the people that say they need to just be bad for a couple seasons, it's not the case. You don't make the signings they had if the plan is to be bad for the next couple seasons. So any young player you have on a contract, or a young player who's cheap right now because they're a rookie or a second year guy or something, you're not giving. Those are the players. Yeah, those are the players you do not give up on. If you're looking to completely just flush it all out and trade anything you can for picks, then you'll do that. But the fact that we re-signed Hawkinson, we offered a contract to JJ, just shows me like this team still wants to compete sooner rather than later. So those are a move like Pace. Those are moves you don't make if you want to compete.
And if they go grab our quarterback of the future in the first round of next year's draft, I honestly am like, you guys can handle this however you want. Just give me that quarterback. That's all I want. Go and get Drake May somehow. Even though I was watching a little bit more of JJ McCarthy because I know SK is becoming a huge JJ McCarthy fan, and he does look good. There's definitely some like footwork issues that you can kind of see when he's in the pocket, but he definitely
and when you know what's coming from the defensive side perspective too, that helps.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that probably helps. That's a good point. All right, let's do this DraftKings real quick because we need to win some money here potentially, even though we'll probably be pretty biased by that right away. I kind of want to make Addison our captain. You cool with that right off the rip?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, we both need him to do well today.
We do.
He deserves it. They need to get him plays early. This isn't it is crazy that they're just not drawing up plays specifically for him. This is not a game. In the first play, it was to him last game, and then we didn't see him for a long time. So they need to get him more involved early, I think.
And if he has another deep shot opportunity that he gets open, he's got to catch it.
Another guy I want to put in here right away
Joseph.
is Cam Akers. We're gonna go cheap here. I think after seeing what Madison, if I'm the Vikings and I go back and watch this tape, I'm wondering why the hell we didn't play Cam Akers more. And I think they're gonna come out and make that. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't, but I think they are gonna come out here and make that change and put Cam Akers in here.
That's all. I mean, I'm hoping so.
Who's more mobile, Caleb or Drake?
Caleb Williams definitely. I think
he's definitely more mobile in the pocket. That's for sure. But I would probably say,
and you can't take away from Drake May because Drake May is still mobile as well. Like the dude can still move, but Caleb Williams is definitely the more, I would say, is the more fleet of foot. He's gonna look more. He's gonna look more flashy running around back there than Drake May will.
Yeah,
but where Drake May is more of like moving to let the play develop in front of him. Caleb Williams is one of those guys who'll move around and kind of the offense is kind of turned into a broken play scenario where the receivers run around. He can buy you more time in that perspective, I think.
Mm-hmm. All right, so other picks. What are you thinking on here? I mean, we have more money now. We could grab CMC. He's like the only person I just worried about.
I don't love the CMC just because of the injury, but also if he plays fully, then
he could.
How about like a Brandon Ayuk?
I mean, yeah. I mean, Brandon Ayuk. He's gonna be their number one guy.
Or do you take like Jennings, like their second receiver or something?
Oh yeah. Actually, that's a good point. You definitely put $4,000 Jennings in this lineup. See, now we're looking rich. Like, do you still pass up on Christian McCaffrey at 12,000? Because if he does play, I'm assuming he comes in this game and he's going to be taking most of this.
Tracy thinks we should take
Tracy
Ayuk.
takes Ayuk. All right. We'll take Tracy.
We'll listen
All right,
to you.
Tracy. Tracy and Casey. Hey, put us in the better view here, Casey.
Oh, yeah, sorry. How about
There we go. So we got Ayuk. Do you think we should put Cousins in here? We can literally get Cousins and Purdy if we wanted to.
Bell is more likely to replace Debo than Jennings. Okay, interesting.
You think so? You said
I
Bell?
didn't say it.
You said Bell? We'll listen.
Yeah.
Hey, that's your team. We'll take your advice. Where is Bell here?
There he is. There.
You think
Very
so,
cheap.
huh? Hey, we're rocking it. We're rocking it.
He did versus the Giants. Okay.
It's the Giants. Okay, let's give it a shot. Now we're really rich. Now I think we need to, if we're going to do this, we should probably go grab, you don't want you sure you don't want CMC?
I mean, I'd be fine with it. It's just the injury kind of scares me. Like, it's going to be one of those games where, like, he comes out and just doesn't, he's out there, but just kind of.
Or it's a game where he doesn't do that and he's the best fantasy player.
Tracy, I'm sure you're keeping a closer eye than we are. Is McCaffrey like 100%, or is he going to be
Tracy, how do you feel about McCaffrey? Are you feeling like he's going to play? I mean, maybe he doesn't put up the same production he always does, but do you think he's going to be the feature running back this game and it's not going to be like, getting taken off the field for half the snaps or sharing half the snaps type of game?
Because that's important if you're going to put him in a.
Joey Hawkins got Sean Mannion. Yeah, I think that could be good.
God. Depressing that Sean Mannion is still on this team.
I know, he's just right back
on this team. McCaffrey is a two-edged sword. He'll play, but he might be a decoy. Yeah, see, that's kind of what I was.
That's what they used. They were doing that with Debo. All right, we don't have to go CMC. It's a true gamble. Yeah. Shoot, I need him to get me 2 points today. I mean, we could put Kirk and Purdy, and then what can we get for 6 Gs? Sean Mannion,
Jaren Hall, Sam Darnold,
Mason,
all the quarterbacks
out there. I just feel like we have to have J.A. as the captain. I guess we don't.
I mean, I suppose Hawkinson's probably more expensive than Addison at this point.
Hawkinson, yeah, definitely.
Catch you later, Jesse. Thanks for hopping in.
See you, Jesse. Let's go, Vikes. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Oh no, I think I'm just gonna do it. But then we still have all this money. I kind of wanted Akers in there. Bell. I feel like. Shoot, what do you think, Casey? Is there anyone here? McLeod. How about him? I mean, you think he... See, that's the thing, is he seems to get some stuff going.
He's more of their returner, I think. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. A lot of the stars are out. Like what is what are the how are the tight ends looking in this one? Both Hawkinson's 88 and Kittle's 72.
So what are you seeing here? Yeah, he had the touchdown there, 2 targets. Oh no, I'll be honest with you, Tracy. I don't know if I'm feeling Bell.
I mean, it is your lineup.
I think I gotta go with Jennings. I'm sorry, Tracy. I'm sorry. I think I gotta go with Jennings here.
Bell's gonna have like 3 touchdowns.
I could be wrong here, but man, the production difference is too much. Like, Bell just looks like he doesn't even play enough, and it scares me.
I think that's kind of what he's saying, though. Like, he could be like that sneaky pick.
That is fair, and then it could bring. I mean, if he does come in and he plays, it would bring your lineup a chance at winning this thing too. Shoot! All right, we're going back. We're going back here. All right, so we're gonna do this. I got Akers in there.
A sleeper pick, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Sleeper picks is important for this stuff. I don't know. I mean, we could take that chance to not spend the extra money. not spend the extra money, and then, I mean, we got Akers in there too. This is a real sleeper pick. Or we could change out Addison and put someone else as the captain and just put him in the actual lineup.
Random basketball tidbit: Giannis, 3 years, $186 million.
Dang. All right, I'm just entering it. We're taking a risk here. If this goes well, we're winning the number 1 for sure. Boom. That's how we're handling this. All right. Let's do this giveaway here real quick. And then we can go and move on to this game tonight. Again, we're going to be on Bleacher Report right after the game for our post game. Quick 20 minutes. 10 entries. Again, everybody in here. Hashtags go in the comments to win a Justin Jefferson rookie card. Run this in like 10 seconds here. Got to be here to win. I'll let Sodak win if he's not here. Sodak, are you here? Hey, 6-Shooter Nation Gaming, what's up, dude? How do you feeling tonight? You feeling the Vikings W?
We got football. We got Game 7 of the ALCS tonight. Lots of sports going on. Lots of sports.
Basketball starts Wednesday. All right, I'm running this. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Who do we got? Got to be here to win. That's Sodak. It's the rule today. I'm feeling good. I think we got shot if we start fat. Yeah.
Mello.
Hey, Mello.
Are you still here?
Mello, are you in here? I don't think so. We'll give him a second. If I went send to Sodak, sounds good, Gary. I'm feeling good. I think we got a shot of start off fast, which is never the scenario. Exactly. That's how I start off fast and keep our foot on the gas.
Yep.
That's it. That's what we got to do. That's the only way. Not just for this game. I think that's the only way we come around this season and not even just make playoffs, but even if we make playoffs and have a chance in playoffs, we have to change this mindset. We have to start off fast and we have to keep pushing on the gas.
Absolutely.
24-21 Vikings. Oh yeah, how are you feeling today on your score predictions?
Well, now that I feel like this is gonna be a low, like a 24-20 Vikings loss. I think it'll be one of those just like kind of grind out games that at the end we're just like, ugh, that one thing that we did wrong, that one stupid play this game is what really cost it.
Yeah, everybody, Justin's going to be going live for the game. Everybody in here, definitely go check out his channel once you leave us here. 100%.
I have Stanford winning 24-13. Ouch. I'm kidding.
For whatever's worth, I've sent. I mean,
it's fair.
Yeah, that's probably pretty dang fair. Kofi 27-17 Vikings. I think I said 24 or 27-21 San Francisco before. But know what? Let's be a little optimistic here. I'm going to say 21 Vikings, 18 San Francisco. I'm going to hop on the wagon here. I'm hopping on. And then Skull TY is going to be doing a post-game. Are you doing it on your actual channel? Catch? Drop your link in your channel here. This is our night. Vikings win. Let's go. I'm running this again. Boom. 3, 2, 1. Sorry, Mello. We'll get you one for sure one of these times here. Draw again. Who we got? And we've got, boom, Kofi.
There we go.
Oh, I know Kofi's in here. Kofi's getting that for sure.
Trent was,
If Trent was playing, it would be worse for me. Yeah, I think that was a big for us. Trent not playing. And Debo, even though Debo, it sounds like he's been kind of more of a, he's been dealing with these injuries. Kofi's got another one. Yep. Man, your collection's getting big, Kofi. Oh, yeah. Definitely. But
all right. Well, big one tonight. Obviously.
Hey, Dave's in the building. Let's go.
Rest of the week to talk about this game Wednesday. I will not be on Skull Experience. Jamie and Dave will be handling that one. I'm moving finally. I'll be taking Wednesday, moving all my stuff into my new apartment. So I will not be able to be on. But then Thursday, I believe we're also off. We're both busy Thursday, so we won't be on Skull Experience, or we won't be on Purple Parlay on Purple and Skull Media on Thursday either. So we'll be back on our show next Monday, another live stream breaking down the Packer game. So
we are waiting tonight. Anybody in here, go check out Minnesota Sports Talk with Dave and subscribe if you haven't already. Same with Purple and Go for Days. He's going live show directly after this. I'm assuming it's starting pretty soon here. Go over there and check him out. I'll be in there to tap in. So I'll see who's all in there. And then Skull TY, if you're still in here, drop your link in here real quick so people can go and subscribe to your channel as well. He's going to do a post game right after the game. Again, we also will be on Bleacher Report for a post game show directly after this game as well. So definitely
link is in there.
Yeah, you should already have Bleacher Report is legit. In my opinion, it's the best sports app, all around sports app that you can have. So you should just have it anyways. But if you don't download it, go check us out after the game. We appreciate it big time.
For sure. But anyway, Skull Vikes, I hope everybody has a great time watching the game. And see you guys next time.
Skull Vikes.